Welcome back, Spurs Bros, to episode 22 of the Spurs Bros podcast. If you're listening right now, go hit that subscribe button down low. We are steadily growing, but we want to grow faster. Help us out, show some love. We're on Twitter and Instagram as well. Stephon Castle is cementing himself as the rookie of the year. So we are loving what Castle's doing. Devin Vassell had a career night tonight against the Brooklyn Nets with 37 points. He threw in 10 rebounds and 5 assists. Jeremy Sohan's all over the place. Chris Paul has moved into a reduced role, and Mitch Johnson's coaching well. He's got the guys playing hard. That might also be the message from Pop in person. So a lot of bright spots to talk about over the last few games with the San Antonio Spurs. Tune in. Let us know what you're thinking. And now that we've won a couple of games and we're playing a lot harder, looking a lot better, let us know on Twitter. Should we embrace the tank or should we make the push for the play-in? We're going to wrap up at the end with another tankathon spin and get a little bit into who we could see the Spurs drafting in the draft this summer. So, like I said, episode 22 coming in hot. And if you're listening, hit that subscribe button. Here we go.
Spurs Bros, welcome into another edition of the Spurs Bros podcast. I'm your host, Alec, and I've got the whole team with me. Reagan, Tim Mendez, Stuart Lynch. Let's go. Episode number 22. We made it, boys. We made it. Does anyone want to say what we made it to?
We're elite. We're part of the 1%.
Yes.
Alec found this stat like episode 2 or 3 at the very beginning when we were just starting this thing out. And the stat reads that 90% of podcasters do not make it past their first episode. Another 9% stop before reaching 20, and only 1% of podcasters stick it out beyond 21 episodes. And this is episode 22.
Let's go. Cheers. I got to clap for that. Come on.
We did it, boys.
Come on.
We got going though.
We got about, 60 or so average listeners. So we appreciate all the support. But you know what? We're going to look back in 2 or 3 years. Hopefully we can clip this and be proud of where we've come, man. So,
and we're at 75 subs on YouTube. So
we literally started from nothing. Like we weren't in the Spurs media or nothing. We didn't bring our audience to this. We literally just started from zero. So there's something there. We'll keep it going. Let's say that. So, all righty, boys. Since we last spoke, we lost one last game. We lost the back-to-back that we played. The Pelicans twice on Sunday, and then Tuesday we lost that Tuesday game as well. So we lost twice to them. They were at the time the worst team in the West, which was disappointing. And then after that, we lose to the Rockets, and we have a big win against the Grizzlies, lose to the Thunder, and then we win big tonight against the Brooklyn Nets at home. So a lot to talk about there. We can kind of gloss over that Pelicans loss and a little bit of that Houston loss, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I know we've been down in the dumps over the past 2-3 weeks, just given what's happened with Wemby and the terrible losses, but I'm actually excited. There's things that I'm excited about that I want to talk about. So Reagan, is there any place that you want to start here? Is there anything that stood out to you in either the Pelicans game or the Rockets game? Where do you want to start?
I don't think there's much to talk about with those two. We had talked about last episode how like, hey man, like if we go and drop to the Pelicans, like we can just kind of, write the season up and start heading to tankathon.com every day. But we took an L to the Rockets. They're just a better team. They're further along in their rebuild and their development as a squad right now. So I don't really want to talk about those two very much. My favorite thing in watching the game against the Grizzlies on Saturday was that the news came out earlier that day that Pop actually made an in-person appearance with the guys, and he was able to talk to them directly. It was an emotional meeting. He got after him a bit. Michael Wright reported, there was some curse words thrown out. He got into him a little bit, and the guys were talking about just the aura that he brought into the locker room, into the building. It was cool to see him. It was kind of inspiring. It was kind of grounding a little bit to remind them, who their coach is, right? Because I haven't seen him in person for so long. But what I noticed in that Grizzlies game after that meeting was that we played 48 minutes of inspired basketball. Like the intensity level was raised, the energy was there. You could tell a serious difference in the way the guys were closing out, sliding their feet. going up on the boards for rebounds. Like it was impressive. There wasn't really a lull in that energy either, and that's what we've been talking about, right? Is playing 48 minutes of hard-nosed physical basketball. They actually did it, and some of the guys talked about it. Some of the reporters definitely mentioned that it played a part. So that was my favorite thing. Is that like yes, we got the bad pop news a couple weeks ago, but they saw him in person and he's doing, however he's doing, but he gave the message and they responded. So I think that was a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't know if y'all remember or Reagan and Stu on our last pod. I thought it was my best take of the year, but I was just talking about all the variables that were afflicting this season, right? I mentioned Webby obviously being out, Chris Paul hogging up minutes, and I mentioned Mitch Johnson. I was like, I don't know how much say he has in like being able to like say what he actually feels and to get after the guys. But I said that's what we really needed. We need somebody to be able to like throw the clipboard at the guys because it seems like he's just so nonchalant on the sidelines, just like this, casual timeouts, and I don't see any change of intensity or nothing. And so the fact that Pop came in literally one time and we go out and beat a top team in the West, top team in the league right after that says something, man. And then even against the Thunder, I know we lost, but we started off really darn hot and looked like we were trying to go and win that back to back at home. And that was really cool to see. So I'm just so happy. And it kind of proves my point. Like that's what we needed. We needed someone to just kick us in the butt, man. Just wake us up, remind the team who we are. Like we didn't just been building over the past 2, 3 years for nothing, just to like drop right back down and regress. And that's what it felt like for a bit. So that was awesome. That was really cool to see.
Yeah,
Two and
when you
one since
text
we
us, you
saw
said all it
Pop.
took was one speech from Pop to get pissed and wake the boys up to take down a good team. I think that was the exact thing that you said,
Yep.
which was cool.
Yep. That's
You're
right.
right. Um,
Was
I think
That was my
what's up?
takeaway too, just that news about the Pop speech. And it's crazy how from one game to the next you can go from all out to okay, I'm back in. Because like, that first game after the All-Star weekend against Phoenix, I was like, okay, if we can beat Detroit tomorrow, got two hopefully winnable games against New Orleans coming up. And then we go on a 4-game losing streak. Like I'm out. This we're going nowhere.
Right.
And that Memphis game was like so awesome to see. The guys get so hyped after the buzzer beater. And if we're gonna make a run at this thing, it looks like it's going to be that 10 seed. But Dallas is all of a sudden, maybe they start tanking. Phoenix is imploding right now. Portland, I don't think they can keep this up. So I mean, 10 seed looks up for grabs.
Wow.
No, I know best case scenario that leads to OKC, but I mean, why not? I mean, I say
Why
go for
not?
it because I mean I don't think lottery position's gonna get much better for us, for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can still hope on who's Atlanta's lottery pick too. They lost again tonight, so I mean that might end up still being a better pick than ours anyway. So like you said, Tim, go for it. Let these young guys, I guess, freaking go out there and win some games, get some. I know it's what Reagan and Al have been wanting, and I've been wanting the tank. Let them go win, let Keldon put up 20 for a throwaway game or whatever. But yeah, I agree. I mean, we're 2-1 since we saw Pop, since he came in. It just kind of shows what we've been needing all season. To your point now, like, can Mitch not yell at them, or maybe is it a respect thing? And do they not respect a 37-year-old if CP's 30? And I don't know. It shouldn't be that way, but maybe it is. So kind of, it's crazy that you hear that there was an aura in the building of Pop Talk, and like, well, dude, you've had a coach all season, but obviously he's not doing much to you. So it sucks that we haven't had Pop, but great that he came in, talked to the boys, yelled at them. Obviously, we knew some curse words that he said, a lot of four-letter words. So that's good. He got under their skin, came out. We beat a team that we shouldn't have beat that night. And then Alec, like you said, we fought with OKC, literally fought with them, and we lost by 14. But they're a way better team than us anyway. So we put up 132 on the number one team seed in the West. So we've looked good since Pop talked to us.
Look, man, we ran a poll on Twitter, on Spurs Twitter. It said, should the Spurs embrace the tank or continue to push for wins and development? And we put that out. Tim, like you were just talking about, like after the Pelicans losses in the 4-game streak, like we were all just like this is over. that's when we ran this poll. 86% of the people that responded to that poll said embrace the tank. But the other thing that came from the Grizzlies game that you've got to like really take in, if you didn't hear it post game, De'Aaron Fox is on the podium and he was talking about the game winner, which was cold, by the way. And he just said, for some reason, no matter how I'm playing, the last shot just always goes in. And when you've got a guy like that,
Sick.
2023 clutch player of the year, and he's got that kind of confidence at the end of the game, like all you got to do is be close, right? If it's a one possession game and you've got this dude, like you've got a chance to win the game. And Tim just ran through the situation at the bottom of the West, like on that play-in line. Why not go for it? Why not put some pressure on Vassell and Johnson and Sohan and see what these boys can do and how they're going to react in a pressure situation with some actual success on the line? I'll say it again. Like I think it would be good for these guys. It's going to be really hard to, suck more than the Suns and the Mavs and the Pelicans and the Jazz. We'll see if the Blazers can keep it up, but Timberwolves are shaking right now too. Clippers are 4-6 in their last 10. Like there's a spot there. Like we're not that far off at this point in the season. We've got a cupcake schedule coming up.
Imagine going to us 10 seed, Kings 9 seed. De'Aaron goes back for the playoff atmosphere.
Oh
That'd be
man.
sick.
Yeah.
De'Aaron back there, and our boys get to experience something big like that. And then De'Aaron just goes off on him. That'd be amazing.
Man, that would be crazy. I would feel so
Because
like
it's kind of looking like that too.
it could
They should be
happen.
the 8 or 9 seed, probably. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean,
they're in the 8 slot right now. So if they move up one more, they pass the Clippers, who they're tied with right now.
Yep.
And we squeeze into the 10, like that would be nuts. De'Aaron goes to Sacramento, and whoo, man, I would feel bad for Kings fans. That would just be another gut punch, but kind of expected down there, unfortunately.
Yep. The other thing that I loved, or what I thought was interesting, is I don't know what it was. Was it pressure from basically Spurs Nation, or what? But it seems like Mitch Johnson got some sense knocked into him whenever he played Stephon Castle again. Only 12 minutes against that second loss to the New Orleans Pelicans, where we only lost by 6. Only 12 minutes in that game for him. And afterwards, literally, the media finally was like, "Yo, what in the world's going on here? Like, this is stupid." And he's like, "Well, I just
his
like the
answer.
flow."
Sorry.
Huh?
No, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, well, I just like the way the guys that starting group was flowing. And yeah, he had a couple of turnovers or whatever. And so, yeah, that kind of played into it as well. That's why I only played him 12 minutes. Like, what the heck?
Bro, he's a rookie. You're gonna bench the rookie of the year because he has a couple turnovers and a bad stretch. No,
Yeah.
play him through it. Yeah, Alec, you're right. Like it wasn't just Spurs fans and Twitter that was talking about it. Like media members were going like, this makes no sense. And it wasn't
Yeah.
just Spurs media, it was national media. Like it got the attention of everybody that like, dude, you've got the likely rookie of the year. Play him. 11
Exactly.
minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes. No, play him.
Yep.
Made no sense. And then, I mean,
Mitch's
Pop
answer
King.
was very poor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't like how he was playing. He had a few turnovers. Like, bro, CP has like 3 or 4 turnovers a game with 7 assists. Like, what? But just because he's 39 and a vet and point guard, he gets to yeah, didn't make any
Kind of
sense at all.
like a read the room, Mitch. Like, who are you talking to,
Yeah.
man? Like, we
Yeah.
don't want to hear this crap. Like, we're on a 4-game streak. Wemby's done, Pop's gone. Like, what's the point? Like, develop the one guy. Develop the
In
one
what
guy that we
world?
got. Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully, he got talking to from the front office or Pop or someone after that. Because I mean, he's averaging like 30 minutes ever since that game now. So
yeah,
he's
bro.
getting
Exactly.
his PT.
I think
Yeah.
that's what Alec was going to get into. But before tonight, so what did he end up with tonight against
17.
Points or
Yeah,
17.
17-4 and 4
minutes.
tonight. Before tonight's game, though, the 3 games prior, so that's the Thunder, the Grizzlies, and the game where the Rockets, where he kind of broke out a little bit out of the slump and we started playing more minutes. He's been averaging 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists over that stretch,
Oops.
including a 32-point, 8 rebound, 3 assist game against the Thunder with 4 3-pointers made, which were all in the first half.
Oops.
On ESPN and everyone in the nation watching him.
Yeah, everybody was hyped
Oh,
on
really
like
though?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were. That's true. A lot of people were
had some
talking
sick
about it
plays.
afterwards. Yeah.
Took SGA to the basket. Me and you were watching together, and we were going crazy as he was just going on a streak, just
He
going
was,
right by player. He almost put Hartenstein on his ass. It was just
He
wow,
almost broke his.
yeah, that
Someone
was nuts.
someone tweeted was
His
like,
ankle was on the ground.
someone tweeted he was like he had to check to make sure his ankle was still on his foot, like because he like after he turned it, he like
He was
looked up and
like,
then he like looked back down. He was like,
it's like, oh God.
yeah,
Dude,
that's
Spurs culture put up a stat from that Thunder game that Stephon Castle is the first player to score 30 plus on the Thunder since December 23rd.
oof,
They hadn't had a player score 30 plus on them since before Christmas.
bro.
Crazy.
Great rookie, 20
Two
years
like
I think
two
old,
and a half
last
months.
can't
Yeah, I
even
think I
drink
said
any
last pod or
alcohol.
two pods ago, he needed like a ESPN game for something like that to solidify. Last year it was kind of Wemby against Chet in that
With
ESPN
the
game, but
block.
Wemby
Yeah.
solidified. Yeah, that solidified his rookie of the year. I think this was it Sunday. We already kind of thought after the dunk contest and that whole weekend, All-Star weekend, but this one against number one West team, I think that solidified it
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like we all already knew about him, and like for us, that's why the All-Star weekend was kind of the stamp on it. But then I feel like that was his coming out party for a lot of the country or a lot of the world that watches the NBA. And now these last three games after, we pulled Mitch's head out of his ass and started playing him more. He's been averaging 26 or whatever. I feel like it's stamped rookie of the year, Stephon Castle. Nobody's going to touch him, bro. Like he's got the most 20-point games of any rookie. He's in the top four of points, assists, steals, and he's leading some of those categories outright for rookies. So, including scoring. I mean,
Yeah,
he's killing.
Yeah, he is.
probably probably all the major defensive metric stuff too. I don't know that for a fact, but you definitely got to be up there. But that OKC game, man, that first half was so frustrating because Stephon's hitting his threes, which he's hit or miss. And didn't we set like I think it was franchise record for most threes and a half or first half?
In a single
Easily.
quarter, they had 10 in
OKC
the
of course.
first quarter.
Okay, my God. But OKC is of course matching us 3 for 3. They couldn't miss either. But kind of going back to like giving up on the season or going for it. That was our first home game, right? Back from the trip. And the crowd was really into it. That was a fired up crowd. That was good to see, especially on national TV. And that obviously led to the fight in the third quarter. But yeah,
Yep.
fourth quarter, that's what OKC does. They pull away. SGA uh, has had most 30, 40, 50 point games in the season so far. Yeah, that was a
I
tough
think
one.
the difference maker at the end though was
Insane.
Jalen Williams.
It
Yes.
was
Yeah.
Jalen Williams. He had his
At the
he
at
had
the end,
season
at the
high.
end. Yeah, he
Bro,
did. I
what was
think it
I
was, what
saying
was
the
it,
whole first
38?
half? What was I saying the whole first half of that game as we were matching three for what I keep saying? It's just so obvious. We're losing this game by 20 because we,
Oh,
we don't shoot like that normally. They were getting all these easy buckets. We were hitting contested three. I was like, it's so obvious we're going to lose this game by 20 because we can't stay this hot. And then, of course, happened in the fourth quarter.
yeah. Well, that's exactly what happened. That's true. And it was frustrating. I remember after that, because it was nationally televised game, they do an interview on the sideline with each coach. Usually the away team is goes first, and then after the third quarter, going into the fourth is the home team. And so their coach was like, "Well, it's really frustrating because they're making a lot of threes." And I'm like, "You're making almost as many threes as
Yeah, dude.
as us."
So
I'm
I
like, "What
I
are you, what
just
are you
took a I
bitching
just
about?"
took a look to speak to that though. So we had 10 in the first quarter. I think it was 16 in the first half. We
Mm.
finished with 18 made threes.
Yeah.
And the Thunder finished with 19 made threes. So like yes, like Stu, you called it. We regressed to the mean and the Thunder kept pouring it on. That's
Yep.
why they're, if not, the best, a top two team in the league this year.
We
So
made
I mean,
didn't
Dead
we make
but I
ass.
like the
zero?
fight.
Didn't we make zero
Well,
threes in the second half?
no, we had made zero. So I was going to say those two in the second half were garbage minutes. I don't know, like Blake might have made one or something. It was in the last two
I think
minutes. We
Mamu
made
hit
two
one.
threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, the game was already over. But yeah, because we didn't hit a three the whole second half till then.
One thing I wanted to ask y'all that I kind of noticed. So we talked about how we've ramped up the minutes for Castle, and that the byproduct of that, which we've been calling for, is a reduced role for Chris Paul. And Chris Paul has seen that reduction in minutes, but I actually think it's been effective for him. We're probably 75% of the way through the season now. He's 39 years old. It's his 20th season in the NBA. But I think it's done well for him because I think he's able to make more of an impact in the select minutes that he's playing because he's actually able to play some on-ball defense. He can still move his feet. Like he just doesn't have the stamina that he did. So when he's not having to put up, 32 minutes and it's 15 to 16, he's able to go hard for 4 minute spurts at a time and actually make some impact. I felt like the reduced minutes led to higher intensity, higher effort. He doesn't have to worry about getting fatigued as much because he knows he's getting pulled in a few minutes. And it feels like it's working so far. Like Stephon's got let loose, which is going well, and CP's making a big impact. Y'all kind of feel the same way over the last few games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way. That goes back to us saying Fox and Stephon should start, and I wish that would still happen. And Chris Paul could come off the bench, get his 18, 20 minutes a game, play harder with more stamina, like you said. But I can't see that happening, though. I don't think it's
Mhm.
gonna.
Yeah, I feel like they're just going to keep
The thing
CP
is, he
starting.
still does affect the game on offense. He still is literally averaging like 7.5 assists a game. It's pretty dang good for point guards in today's league. And, 7 to 10 points. It's still, affecting like 25 points on offense or so a game. But like you said, Reagan on defense, he gets so tired. So then everyone just picks on him right away. And then he gives up 10 on himself anyway. So, I mean, yeah, but like Tim, you just said, we would love for him to come off the bench and get those last like 4 minutes of the first quarter, a couple of the second. But yeah, if he could get 15 to 20 a night and just do what he does, not be so lazy on defense and still get 5 to 7 assists, like that's what we need him to do. And still be that, role model guy in the locker room or whatever that everyone talks about so often.
Yeah, on the bench, locker room, some on the court.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Just
yeah,
30 minutes a night as a 39-year-old is nuts. He's not LeBron James, unfortunately. It's just like, sorry, buddy.
yeah. That's like that can't be the measuring stick. It's like Aaron Rodgers trying to be
No.
Tom Brady. Like you're great, you're an all timer, but you're not the
Yeah.
GOAT.
Good
Uh,
comparison. Good
Facts.
comparison. I agree.
Facts.
The other
And A
thing that got a
Rod,
lot of
cut.
yeah, he's gone. The other thing that actually got a lot of support on Twitter too was I said that everybody really needs to start appreciating Jeremy Sohan. And I said that against the Thunder. I feel like Jeremy was all over the place, man. Like he's finishing at the rim better than he has to start the year. I feel like he's back into a little bit of a rhythm since we signed Bismack Biyombo, and Jeremy's having to play less at the five. He's playing his natural position. He's slashing, he's cutting, he's getting loose balls, he's deflecting passes, he's offensive rebounding, putbacks. He's doing everything, and I think we see his value now that he's not having to play 20 minutes at the five every night. It's spot minutes there, and he's able to do other things. But it feels like people are starting to get that a little bit because he's playing at his natural role again.
100%.
See your
Yeah.
take. Well, I was gonna say I see that take, but it's kind of what we're doing with Devin and Calder right now. We just can't forget about the inconsistent. Like we still had Wemby healthy most of this year, and Jeremy would play and he would still just not show up or be irrelevant on a lot of nights. Still, even sometimes like when we had our full team. Let's go back to a pod a month and a half ago, and we would say Jeremy's not doing anything offense right now, and now he's not even stopping people on defense. So what's he even here for? He's useless again. But then at the beginning of the season, we're like, dude, Jeremy, MIP this year. Holy hell, 20
Yeah.
points a night, 10 boards. So he just is still that whole consistent thing.
Well, my take was Reagan. I was looking for that text, which was a tweet in our group message that said that Sohan's actually still one of the best on-ball defenders. Like he's making guys average, or I don't know what it is. He's making people shoot really inconsistently.
I think it was literally number one in the league.
Number one in the league. I was looking for that stat. I forget.
It was
what
it was
exactly.
against a bunch of other like all stars,
Yep.
and it had a very high minimum number of reps on it. And yeah, he's got it's like less than 1% of the time guys are scoring when he's the on-ball defender,
That's wild.
which is, I mean, that's
Cool.
that's pretty crazy, dude. Like
Yeah.
if you think about how many possessions he's guarding in a game, like once, maybe twice a game, he's getting scored on as the on-ball defender. That's tough to do, especially with the guys that he's guarding and the versatile, like the various positions that he's being, assigned to. He's
Mhm.
guarding the point guard, he's guarding fives, he's guarding everything in between. And like obviously he has his strengths, right? Like he's not going to go bang with the 7-footers, but everything else he's got covered. So I don't know. I feel like he was having to cover up a lot when we were down a center, and then Wemby went out and he was having to truly play five. But at the beginning of the year, you mentioned it, like he had MIP votes at the time. He breaks his thumb. He comes back, he finds his rhythm. Wemby goes down, find his rhythm again. We slot him into the 5 spot. Now we've got a true center. Bismack Biyombo's started last 8 games now. He's had four double doubles, and Jeremy's slotted back to the 4 most of the time he's on the court. He's playing really well. So I wanted to put that out there as like recognize that at least right now in his normal position, Sohan's playing really well.
Well, great.
And he was ready to fight the whole Thunder squad, so brownie points there.
Brownie points. I love it. He was the one who scored the bucket. He looked straight over, and he's like,
and then he's the first one into the scuffle, bro.
I love it.
He was like, don't mess with my boy Julian.
Yeah. And also, like Reagan, I think comments on our Twitter page and stuff. Just everyone's saying, like, every successful team has to have a guy like that. And he's the only one on our team now. Again, we used to say, like, oh, dude, Zach will throw it down, but Zach was Zach. Like, Jeremy is still way at a higher level than Zach. So, he ain't going nowhere realistically. Every team, and what you just said, Alec, how much Pop and our front office does defense and all that. He's so, like, beloved by our team. And then in those moments, our fans, we all hop right back on. Jeremy's our guy. So he ain't going anywhere. Every winning team does need someone like that, whether he's a starter or off the bench or whatever.
By the way, really unfortunate stat line from about a week ago. The Bulls played the Clippers. It was a 5-point loss. But did y'all see Zach Collins' stat line that night?
Was
He
it
had
double?
season and career highs. He had 21 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists in 36 minutes of play.
You know why, right? That contract is up next season. He's trying to finesse some other team.
I guess, bro, but like
another 17 a
you
year.
can't. He's like, why not just finesse the squad you're already on? Give us some valuable minutes. Damn, you had to go to Chicago first. I know we were being hard on him, but damn, 21 and 16.
30.
That's the team to do it for.
Too big of a sample size of his true self.
Yeah, true.
But that's the team to do it for. The worst front office in the league. They'll pay you fat, so he's doing it for the right team.
Facts. Yeah, that's facts.
So I wanted to talk about a little bit more about the Brooklyn game. I mean, we just watched 3.5-ish quarters of it before we hopped on this pod to record right now. But man, that was also an awesome game. Devin Vassell with a career high 37 points. He also had 11 rebounds and 5 assists. De'Aaron had 15, Keldon 15, Chris Paul 11, Bismack Biyombo 13 points and 14 boards. And our boy Stephon, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, 17 points tonight and 4 rebounds and 6 assists. He should have had like 11, but guys were missing wide open shots. So that was a great game there. The reason I wanted to bring up this win, and we can kind of brush through it. I mean, first takes, but I want to bring up something afterwards on that win. I thought, again, another high energy game at home. And I thought everyone just played with intensity. I feel like people, we brought, as we've been looking for all season, a little bit of physicality. We didn't back down, played hard on defense and made some shots. But man, I mean, I thought we just played great, especially obviously kudos to Devin Vassell.
Devin Vassell had a hell of a night. 37 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he had 9 points a couple days ago. So
yeah,
inconsistent. You could see the relief on his face in the post-game interview on the court with Dan Weiss. But good for Devin. Like he's been with us for 5-6 years. Love to see him have a successful night. Would love to see him do it more consistently. But this was a game that, if we're going to try to push the plan at all, this is a team that you have to beat. The Nets are actively trying to tank, like no doubt about it. They were sellers at the deadline. This is a team that you have to beat. So were the Pelicans. We lost both those games, but this is like the effort you talked about it, Alec, and like it kept up tonight. Like I'm seeing guys put pressure on rebounds and ripping balls from guys' hands, making these savvy plays, extra effort, like ball pressure, active hands. It was a different look. Like it's really a different look, and I feel like that intensity is what's leading to some of the other success on offense because those teams are like not matching the level of effort the last couple of games, and it's creating good stuff for us.
Yep.
Finally realizing, oh no, we have 25 games left of the season. It's now or never. Unfortunately, we should have done this 30 games ago. But now we're like kicking into a new drive. And again, maybe it's the pop talking to us a few days ago. Wish that could happen sooner. But I don't even want to get into it because in my eyes, I'm still what's it all for without our boy Vic.
Hopefully that was, I mean, we've been waiting for this all season. Hopefully this was a little bit of a breakout for Devin. You know, he had that fast break, just stop on a dime, heat check three. You know, it's good to see him still having confidence like that, even though he's had plenty of opportunities to kind of lose his confidence this season. We mentioned Biombo. They showed a stat. I'm gonna butcher the stat, but I always think he's at least 6'10". He's like 6'8", I think. So it's
He's
crazy
6'8".
how many rebounds, blocks he's gotten throughout his career. Still being 32 now, still doing the same thing. Had a couple great blocks at the rim, including I think it was Cam Johnson, who I thought he was going to yam on him for a second. So
Yeah.
it was a sick block. And yeah, Fox didn't have to do much. I mean, you know, I feel like D'Lo's usually kind of a Spurs killer. He had some wide open threes. They just weren't falling tonight. Thank God he was 2 of 8 from 3.
That was D'Lo's first game back off of a 5-game absence from an ankle sprain. So it's the trend of guys coming back for us. But luckily it didn't catch fire. You're right, though, Tim. Like he does usually, he's one of those guys that kind of lights us up for 25 on any given night, no matter what team he's playing on or what court he's playing in.
Yeah, good points, Tim. And to the Bismack point, I heard, was it Toby? I think he said he's year 14, which means he came in the league at 18.
Yeah,
he's 32.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
Wild. What the heck? I didn't know he was that good.
He was way older.
Yeah. Jeez, man, 32 years old. Yeah, I mean,
anybody want to guess his wingspan?
Really long.
Probably like 7'2" or something.
Yeah,
7'6". I just looked it up.
Oh my God.
He's 6'8" with a 7'6" wingspan. That's crazy.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I guess he's in his prime. Like, right, boys? Like,
yes.
Is he earning his spot for next season?
He might be. We signed him for the rest of this year. His 2 10 days are up, and we signed him for the rest of the season. So
which makes sense. And he knows he's playing for a contract too, whether it's with us or around the league. So I mean,
and you could tell, like
13 and 14, he's earned it.
He had a nice assist tonight where he was a roller, and the Nets were for a while there. I think it was early third quarter, maybe it's late second quarter, but the Nets coverage tonight, a lot of the of that stretch was to double the ball handler. So I forget who was the ball handler, but we found Bismack right there, and I could kind of see him that he's starting to figure out some of our playbook and some of our principles and stuff, because he caught with his back to the basket, turned, and immediately found a backdoor cutter on the baseline for a dunk. That like you could tell that, like, okay, he's actually making this progression in what should be the right read in this offense right now, and he made it. It was a good pass. It was on time. It was on target, like they say in the NFL, and led to a bucket. So I mean, I don't know, man. He's playing pretty well. Like, he's doing exactly what we need him to do.
Yep.
Spurs Muse compared him to Zach Collins, and it was like Bismack shooting 0% from 3 and as a starter, and Collins was shooting 10% from the 3 as a starter. And somebody was like, I said, show the total 3-point attempts, and somebody came and responded and was like, I mean, 29% on the year starter as a bench was Zach Collins. Like, that's better than nothing. I'm like, but the whole point is we don't need the person in that role to be shooting threes if it's going to be less than 33%. Like, so Bismack's just doing exactly what we need out of that position right now.
Yep. As Sean Elliott said,
in general, you go out.
I was going to say, as Sean Elliott said, he's like, he doesn't have an identity crisis. Like, he knows exactly the player that he is. And if you look at his career stats, he never was like a 15-point per game scorer. He's averaged for his career 5 points a game, 5.1 points a game, 5.9 rebounds a game. So like, he's very much like role player from the jump of his career, even though he came in the league, I guess, obviously very young. So,
which is what we're all about.
Yep.
So we're all about the role guys come in for cheap and do more than you're expected to do, more than what you're paid to do. Yep. Instead, we've had these guys in the past, Zach and being included, getting overpaid and not doing what they're paid to do. So I'm gonna know Bismack's growing on me for sure.
For sure.
And again, as the second string center, it's all you need to do. Bang guys around, get hella boards, and get 6 to 8
Protect the
points off
rim.
some dunks and rolls. Yeah, that's all. That's all we need. And I mean, dude, 7'6" wingspan is nuts for a 6'8" guy. So I don't know.
I
I
mean,
honestly thought he was like
perspective,
a
like
37. So
yeah, Kawhi Leonard is 6'8" and he's got a 7'2" wingspan. We always thought that was crazy. So same
geez,
size,
yeah.
but another 4 inches of wingspan. That's some perspective there.
Yeah. Well, I saw that block. He had almost three blocks in a row and three possessions in a
Yeah,
row. But that second one, he literally came out of nowhere. Like he looked like he was outside of the restricted area almost. And he just came over and swatted off the board.
Wemby-esque.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? So
Yeah.
that's what made me think. I believe that number. Yeah, 7'6" it makes sense.
My favorite stat from tonight, shout out Jordan Howenstein again, at Airless Jordan on Twitter. Fantastic follow. But the San Antonio Spurs have now had 200 games in a row with
Hmm.
20 plus assists as a team. That's the longest streak by any team in NBA history.
Dang.
Yeah, pretty
That speaks
sweet.
volumes when we've been complete the past 2.5 years. So that's crazy that we're
Yeah,
still
so we're
getting 20
still
assists.
playing the Spurs way, sharing the
Yep.
rock. Pretty awesome, man. And I think, yeah, yeah, only team to do it 200 games in a row. Like
Wow.
if that doesn't like kind of warm your heart and just like quickly flash back to the beautiful game Spurs, like everybody's sharing the ball, pass for the best shot possible. It's got to make you happy. Like that's a silver lining that we can smile about, I think.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. If nobody has anything else on that game, I wanted to sort of bring up, it was awesome to see Wemby on the sidelines on Sunday and then just tonight. That was really awesome. And I'm wondering, we talk a lot about like how guys need to fit around, like what we need to do to fit guys around Wemby and like who is the right players and in the right positions and who's the right personnel and all this stuff. And I mean, Stu and I had this conversation a little bit where I was saying, I wonder if it's dawning on Wemby, like how do I need to fit better into the Spurs, like to the other guys on the court, right? I mean, if I'm Wemby, I'm watching Bismack Biyombo had 13 points and 14 rebounds. Like Bismack Biyombo, just because I mean he was getting a lot of pick and roll, Chris Paul, boom, dump down passes. Obviously being in that little dunker spot, like, and then also seeing Devin go off tonight. Like Devin's definitely not going to do that if when Wemby's back, just given the fact that even if Devin comes off the bench, just given the fact that like, you saw him, he had to be a major creator and have the ball a lot more, touch the ball a lot more. Stephon, he was starting to come into his own already, game slowing down for him. But I mean, still, I mean, he's even playing better. And with De'Aaron now on the team, like what, like I thought about it like that. I wonder if Wemby starting to dawn on Wemby, like what he needs to do, who he needs to become to fit in better with the other guys as well, to make other guys shine, right? Because I feel like he's still obviously trying to figure out himself and he doesn't want to fit in with anything. He's like, don't put a label on me. But, is there a certain thing or two or three that like he needs to just focus on for the sake of winning versus just like playing into the brand of alien, right?
I think it's a good topic to really think about that, at first thought, like I'm like, dude, Alec, it's Wemby, bro. Like everybody's gonna mold around him. But no, I think you're right though, at the end of the day. Like you have to find a way, no matter how good you are, like Kobe could take 30 shots a game. That didn't always equate in the playoffs in year two against the Celtics, but that didn't equate to winning the series. Like they out how to incorporate other guys a little bit more and fit in a little bit more with the scheme of the team.
Yeah.
So I think it is something good to think about. As much as we want him to be on the court, right? Obviously,
Yes.
I think coming off the bench could be something that does benefit him because he's going to get a different perspective on the team and the way that the NBA works, right? He's still 21, it's his second year, but these 25 games where he's on the bench and he's soaking everything in from a different perspective, I think it could really raise his mental acuity and his basketball IQ to how things are going to fit.
Yeah.
I mean, you would assume that he knows it, but hopefully, maybe seeing a little more that maybe you don't need to attempt 20 to 30 shots a night to affect the game. We see Joker being probably the MVP once again. And on some nights, he has 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists, and he's by far the best player on the court. And maybe Wemby starting, like, we would see a lot this year. Wemby still getting maybe four. I think his lines for most games were 4.5 assists. Like, as a 7'5" guy getting doubled a lot and stuff, like, but that's just because the way he plays is being out on the perimeter. People aren't having to double him out there because he's not strong dribbling the ball and stuff. If Wemby started being more a center, like we've kind of been wanting, maybe take the Joker role a little more down low, everyone's naturally just going to go double him every time he's on the block, and that's how you can start way more assists. And then naturally being down the block too, he starts getting way more boards a game. There's no way 7'4" guy with what a 7'10" wingspan should be getting sometimes 8 boards a game and all that. Like I just think all that, just playing the big man role, will like be so much better for his game. And we know he loves KD so much and wants to be that.
Yep.
But like, I don't know, Al, we were talking about that too, as you said. Like maybe 7'4" is just too tall. Like KD's still 6'11", he's still a little more shifty, lower to the ground. 7'4" is just like maybe that's too tall to be that type of guy. It's going to be always hard to be like catch the ball at the 3-point line, get to the basket with how high he's dribbling the ball and all that. So it's tough. I don't know, but Alec, like, yeah, to your answer, I think maybe just be more of an assist, and it doesn't always have to be 25 shots a night and putting up 30, 35 points to win. When we see Devin, and now unfortunately only got to play 4 games with De'Aaron, but like now we have other guys who can score 25 to 39. It doesn't always have to be you.
Mm-hmm.
I think him watching from the bench could be beneficial, like Reagan said. I think his IQ is already there. He's still so young. He's obviously going to keep learning. IQ's going to keep going up. But I think when he's out there, like right now, everyone knows they have to step up, and we don't have the guy now. And when he's out there, maybe, I don't know, they're not cutting as much. They're not moving around as much, not running an offense. Like, I don't know, like when he's out there with the ball sometimes at the 3-point line, it's a lot of stagnant play. And
yes,
I think the way we've been playing has had to change because we don't have the guy out there. So, everybody I think is more cognizant that they have to step up and score while we don't have our franchise guy out there. So
right.
Then that's a blessing and a curse, because then once he's back, then what? Are they just going to go back to, we have Wemby again, so Devin's not going to be as aggressive, or Keldon's not going to go back to 15, and which we always say after All-Star break, Keldon goes crazy, but like, but at the end of the day, we know it's Wemby's team still, even over Fox and everything.
Yep.
But so who is it then? Is it Wemby we need to focus on, or is it all the other guys?
Exactly.
And no, that's what your point is, Alec, is what is it? Is it Wemby or is it the other guys?
Exactly. Right. Because you're seeing individually, right? Like obviously him on the court, Wemby, top 7 or whatever. He was cracking top 7 in MVP voting, but at what cost, right? We were at 500 at best, one game over 500. And by the way, maybe we're having a different conversation if we're taking care of business and winning these games, but we're not, right? Where we didn't before he went out. And then after he's gone out, yeah, Stephon, De'Aaron, Devin, Keldon playing well, like all these guys starting to, I don't know what. And so, yeah, great point, Tim. As far as the ball movement and spacing and guys feeling like, I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously the assist thing the numbers assists isn't a problem because of the stat you just gave, Reagan, but yeah, it's just like how buckets are coming along, right? Like you said, Tim, like the offense seem more stagnant. So the thing, it's like the trade-off. It's does he want to be more like KD? And is he want to be more like KD because number one, that's his idol, and number two, also it might lead to more longevity, right? He's seeing KD still put up 26.7 points a game in his whatever year in his career. And so he's like, I want to be that as well, because I know to be an all-time great, I have to have a long career. And he thinks that if I play down low, then he might get hurt. He might more liable to get hurt, banged around, whatever. So like maybe it's a trade-off for him. Like it's weird. It's very interesting to think about like his personal legacy and also like what's best for like winning basketball, which we all kind of agree. And even obviously someone like a Shaq would say, get your butt down low and just go dunk on everyone. But yeah, go ahead.
He's also never been the number one on a championship team. So is that who we want him to be? De'Aaron Fox can't be our number one. We need Wemby to be the number one.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Wimby's the number one. Like
Yeah, he's
guys are gonna fold into
Well,
him at the end of the day, but like
exactly.
he
So
can make minor adjustments to get these guys, playing a little bit better and having the ball a little bit more consistently, for sure. But he, at the end of the day, he's the guy. The offense is going to revolve around him. The defense is going to revolve around him. The
definitely.
trade deadline, the free agency market, the acquisitions, the departures, the fan base, the everything, the new arena is going to revolve around Wemby at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah,
adjustments he can make to do better and to, accelerate the growth of the team for sure.
totally. And this is not me like questioning his greatness or his
No, I know you're not.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm,
dude,
I'm just thinking of
I thought you were getting at like, well, if we trade him away, what can we get back? Because all
no,
these other guys are playing so
no,
good.
no.
Oh, okay.
Are you serious? No, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Hey,
God.
Alec. So
kidding.
yeah, headline from episode 22 is Alec wants to trade Wemby.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah.
Devin 37 points, trade Wemby.
Wemby for
God,
flag?
no.
Question mark? Question mark? Ace
Jeez.
Bailey plus Edgecombe equals Wemby? Question mark?
Yeah. No way. Heck to the no, bro. Heck to the no. No, not in a million years. I'm just thinking it could be a small adjustment. It could be something very small. It could be like how we run our offense, like just in general, like the types of plays we run. I don't know. Or
That's what I was getting at. Maybe it was again a whole Mitch year, kind of a whole wasted year in
right.
Wemby's development in a way. I know he was developing, putting up a bunch of shots and threes, but like developing into our team meshing, kind of a wasted year with Mitch at the helm.
Yeah, it could easily be that. I don't know. I'm just thinking, yeah, I would just throw that out there. So if nobody has anything else, I mean, we're still the 13th seed, I believe. So maybe we should continue down our path of tankathon spins. Correct?
Tankathon.
Let's do it.
Tankathon.
Here, you want me to do it? You want me to do a
Do
little? Okay, I'll do the one. Here, let me share my screen real quick, just so I can do it in real time. Last time I did it in one spin, and we did indeed get Cooper flag. All right,
Out.
let's see it. Here we go. One click. We'll get one click. Let's see.
Come on.
Oh, first time. Let's go. Let's go.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
And
the
the
hell?
10th seed or 10th spot.
110.
Let's
Holy
go.
No.
You saw it here,
Oh,
folks.
this is with our actual pick too.
That's
That's funny.
Dude, the
Oh,
league
shoot.
would riot. That would be potentially three rookie of the years in a row.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh
gosh.
my god.
That would
Oh
be
my god. We can only dream.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
starting alongside Wimby and De'Aaron and Stephon. Oh god. Oh, talking about problems.
I know. That'd be wild. Holy moly.
That almost gives us nothing to talk about because we just know it's probably not going to happen.
True. True.
Okay, so something we can talk about real quick, pull a name out of a hat. That was the one pick. What we can talk about is, like, let's say what a lot of these tankathon spins are pulling out is like ninth pick, 10th pick.
Yep.
What's a name that we could realistically select at the 10 spot, let's say? Do you guys have a name that you would want to select? My name, and this is a half-baked idea, but my name is Derek Queen, center for Maryland. He is 6'10", 245. He's averaging right now 19 points, 11 rebounds, and just over 1 block and 1 steal a game. He can pass the ball a little bit, 2.5 assists a game right now. He's a big body. He's got a little bit of finesse, good footwork, little baseline hook, baseline jumper, from 6-8 feet, and just a big old body that we could use, so that we're not having to slot Jeremy in at the 5. That's, if Bassey doesn't work out, if Biombo doesn't work out, that's some good young rookie depth at the center spot. So Derek Queen of Maryland would be my guy.
I haven't gotten into watching him in depth. A lot of these guys, me and Stu are Duke fans, so I do like Con. It's Knipple, right?
Yeah,
Con.
Knipple. Yeah, we figured that out.
I do like his game, and he kind of has to take a backseat to Cooper. So, but man, when he's on, he's on. I like Con Knipple, and other white boy, Liam McNeely from UConn. I'd
Yep.
like him too. I think he's a high IQ guy who can shoot the lights out as well, and also good size and gets others involved. I'd be cool with either of them
You know
So
what's
I was gonna
really
say at least
as of
they
right
both
now.
have that body. You're like six. I think Knapple's 6'7", and McNeely 6'8". So at least they have that body size for the NBA. I personally don't see it. I think they're both one-way players. I mean, they're both great shooters, but they're not the three and D. They're just the three. So I don't know if we know what our front office likes. So I don't know if I personally see them taking it. And the boss, I really like Trey Johnson. That's my guy, but he's kind of like them too. He's a pure scorer, but I mean, we all know Hart. I mean, D comes from Hart, so like, does he have Hart to play D? So I don't know. I think just in the past, who we've been taking and stuff leads way more back to Stephon type guy. And unfortunately, I don't know where that guy is in this draft. So I'll go with Trey Johnson's my guy right now. He just had like 40 this week for UT. I mean, he's just a pure bucket, and I think that's what we need. The other two guys are both just kind of catch and shoot guys. Trey Johnson can get a bucket anywhere on the floor, so that's going to be my guy from Texas. 6'6",
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, I love Trey Johnson. You know me, I talked about him a lot. Here's what's interesting. I'm looking at Tankathon, and whenever you click on a player, they have this interesting little category box area where it shows stat strengths and stat weaknesses. And there's a bunch of stuff, right? Blocks, free throw attempt rate. There's some really interesting stuff. Assist to turnover ratio, points, defensive rating, assists. Cooper Flag has zero stat weaknesses, which is crazy. And they have like +4, +3, +2, +1, right? So some are more of
Oh my
strengths than
God. Yeah,
others.
this is crazy.
But if you look at Ace Bailey, I'm looking at Ace Bailey. The guy has way more stat weaknesses than he does strengths, which and I kind of off the rip, just like off my intuition, kind of feel that way about him, right? They have draft age as a strength,
Yeah,
but
he's way more of a probably just touch the surface type guy. Like he's only 18. We're going for his future. He has the body type. He's 6'8", thin, lengthy. Like everyone's just that's the body type in today's NBA. That's how they pick him so high.
right. But I'm looking at other top small forwards, and that guy from France, Noah Asenge, I guess his name is. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The guy has a lot of stat strengths compared to stat weaknesses. He is French. He's 6'9", and he averaging 18, close to 19 points a game. True shooting is 60, almost 65%. I
Six
can see
nine.
us with him. I can see us with
Yeah.
him.
They
Not
have a mock to us right now at the 10th pick too.
Noah Senge,
So
unless we
And we know we've still been scouting Nolan Traore for like multiple years now, like a little Tony-esque point guard from France. So with honestly with this in particular draft, how many Europeans are up in the top 15 area? Let's be real, it's almost we're doing a disservice talking about us taking someone from college right now. We're definitely gonna take some European, you
right.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be a thought for me. Again, just given the fact that we desperately need a wing, another wing, just some more
Yeah,
length.
that's my top is get a starting three. Well, I don't know if we want an 18-year-old star, but I mean, yeah, if we could get a badass 6'9" guy, 6'8", 6'9", that's ideal. Well, let's end it with who we got this week. What do we got? We got De'Aaron's going home game.
Yes, sir. Yes, we
Got
do.
back in
oh yeah, that'll be
Sacramento
a big deal.
I think that's going to be on a Friday. It is. So yeah, we
Friday night.
got a couple of nights rest. That'll be great. Get to go over to Sacramento, and he gets to play against his old squad.
You think
Not
they
so
boo him?
old
You think the arena boos him or
for
gives him a
sure.
welcome?
I bet the team gives him a tribute video, but I bet the
Yeah,
Video,
team the fans boo him for sure.
which would
With
be
how
that's
tight
what it
we've
kind of
seen them on
seems.
Twitter,
Twitter.
yeah.
Yeah.
which would be
So
good
the
for us,
Kings
man.
in Sacramento, and then we go to Minnesota on
Yep.
Sunday.
Sunday, and then Mavericks at home Monday, Wednesday, which again, obviously traded away Luka Doncic. Anthony Davis seems like he might be out for the year because Kyrie Irving just tore his ACL. Unfortunately, that was really sad.
So
And so
sad. So
extreme.
sad. Kyrie is my favorite player to watch in the NBA. that
Yes.
isn't in a Spurs uniform. And being a Dallas resident, I've been to I think 3 games at the AAC for the Mavs, and seeing him play, dude, it's so special.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy on videos and highlight tapes, but then you see the stuff that he just casually does that never makes a highlight tape.
Yep.
He's a special player, and I hope he can come back and be 90% of what he is today, because man, that is tough. But yeah, with the Mavs, sorry, I got all emotional. Kyrie's my favorite, but Jaden
Same.
Hardy also sprained his ankle last night. They just signed Kai Jones for their center because AD and Gafford and Lively are all out indefinitely with no timetable.
It's
Luka's gone forever. Clay's probably depressed again. Kyrie's done for the year. Jaden Hardy's out indefinitely. There was a dust storm in Dallas today. They raised season ticket prices 8% for next year. Mavs are on a generational decline right now over the last month. It's crazy. This city is so down bad. If it weren't for the Dallas Stars at the top of the NHL standings, Dallas might literally set itself on fire. This place is just a depressed mess.
maybe you're getting out at the right time, man.
I am getting out at the right time. Jeez, like
Yeah.
I can't go watch any of the cool players anymore.
Yeah. Jeez.
Who are we to say how bad the Mavs are? Oh, we got beat them twice, bro. We just got swept by the Pellies, so it's tough to say. Oh yeah, they don't have AD carry easy wins like we're us. At
True.
best, we split with them. I'm going 2-2 in those 4 games.
All right. 2-2. I say
In any which way for them, I don't know if we'll beat the King. I'm just going 2-2 overall. I do
mm,
think De'Aaron goes off for 30 plus on Friday though. Like, he might be a little bit of a ball hog, but I'm all for it.
3-1. We beat the Mavs twice. That's why.
I'd say we beat the Mavs twice, both times as well, but I think we lose the 2 away games, so I'll say two and
Ah,
two. So
that's right. Yeah.
I think
Reagan.
we beat the Kings, we lose to the Timberwolves, we beat the Mavs, then we lose to the Mavs. We go 2-2. I
Oh
still don't
man.
see us with the resolve to beat a team 2 times back to back, just like the Pelicans. Um,
So,
I thought we would at
Unfortunate.
least split the Pelicans, and we lost both. 2-2.
We will see. We will see. All right. Well, we got 3 2-2s, and we got a 3-1 over here. Please. I believe. I believe. All right,
imagine for
man.
once they just blow our minds with a 4-0 week. Like,
It'd be
would that
so
be
sick.
so hard to ask? Well, because then it'd be 5 in a row, first time in 1,000 years. So
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that'd be so
That'd be.
sick. Imagine we come back here and we're 30 and 34.
Oh, sheesh.
We'd be getting there. We'd be getting close. That'd be
Come on,
two. I
man.
think we would pass the Mavericks. Well, we would definitely pass the Mavericks. If we go 4-0, that would put us in the 10 spot.
If I'm Mitch Johnson, I'm sure a lot of coaches like to say, "All right, we're one game at a time, one game at a time." We like to just play just the super cliche stuff. But if I'm Mitch, I'm like, "Yo, that's the goal, right? 5 wins in a row for the first time since whatever. What do we need to do? What needs to happen? And then just get the boys hype, man. Imagine that."
Shout out Tony Parker, Hall of Fame Tony Parker. He's been traveling with the team the last week or two. He's been making a lot of appearances, so that might be going
yes.
going well for us too. He was in Houston. He was in Memphis.
Wow.
Is he
Yeah,
traveling with the team?
I don't know. I don't know. But somebody asked Michael Wright on Twitter if he's like going to be coaching or something, and he said a hard no, period. Um, but so I don't know, but it's cool to have that influence. Maybe that's helping the guys out, give an extra spark. So
Yeah.
had to put on my Hall of Fame induction, Tony Parker.
Y'all think
Hey.
he can
Tonight.
just show up and ride with the team everywhere, still has his hotel rooms paid for every night, all that? He's just,
Probably, bro, for life. Five
yeah,
rings if
that's
you get a
so
hotel
hard.
room, easy.
All right,
That's funny.
fellas.
All
Good
right,
stuff,
man.
man.
But that's it. Everybody go hit that subscribe button. And from the Spurs Bros, go Spurs go.